Hi, this is Janet Gallen welcoming you to Love Letters Live. Today's guest is Judy Tenuta, who is doing so much in life, has already accomplished so much in life as a comedian and a writer. And I know you sing. And Judy, you come say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do
Uh,
in the
well,
entertainment world as concisely as you can.
I'm Judy Tenuta, the love goddess, petite flower, fashion plate, saint, earth mother, geisha girl, buffer of foreheads, Aphrodite of the accordion. Oh, my
Oh,
accordion is over.
you play the accordion? I forgot that.
I don't really. I use it to punish people. That's what
Oh,
the accordion is meant to do.
I don't
It's to
think
punish.
so. Oh,
Oh,
how
yes,
old, how
I
old
do.
were you when you learned?
I was 7. I was 8 years old. Yeah, yeah. So and then so yeah. It's just wait a minute. Hold on. Don't go away.
Okay. Don't be gone long.
I did this early, so I didn't have it here. But yes, so I am the Aphrodite of the accordion, but mainly I am a petite flower love goddess. And just like everyone else, I'm going through a journey, you
Yeah.
know. And so right now I have some challenges.
Do you want to just
I
jump
am,
right in and talk about those to be helpful to others?
well, I just, for those of you who don't know me, uh, I don't know all of your listeners, but I am a comedian love goddess, and I am double Grammy nominated, and so for my albums, and uh, I was touring around the country a lot, but as you know, we all have COVID to deal with, so I'm
Yeah.
not doing that anymore, and I'm just so we're all kind of a little bit stuck at home,
Yeah.
and yeah, so luckily we have this Zoom, so we can communicate that way and see one another. And yes, well, but for many years I toured the country all over, and see, there's my accordion.
Oh, can I ask?
And
I want to ask you something. Is your family or ancestry Italian?
yes, in fact, here's the situation, right? So my mom was Polish and my father was Italian, so they were always taking a hit out on each other. And then when I was born, I popped out. uh, People ask me, how'd you get started with the accordion? Well, really, I popped out wearing it because it was my mom's IUD. But I mean, it didn't work because she had 9 kids. So it
Wow.
all, I know. Can you believe the poor thing? I have never had a child. But I know it's got to be really tough.
Oh, I don't see how women can or men can handle that many children. It's such a large responsibility. Yes.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
reason I asked, the only people I knew who played the accordion were from Italian families. So I thought that was a cultural thing specific. And I once saw an all girls accordion orchestra.
oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. But
Fabulous.
yeah, no, it's just because when I was growing up, in in yeah, the late 50s, early 60s, that uh, you know, I was just, yeah, that they were passing accordions around in
Right.
Chicago, and they wanted people to take lessons. I think it's really great for children to have any kind of musical lesson,
I
whether it's,
agree.
oh yeah, it so helps you with so many. Well, it's great for math and everything.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and not only that, it cheers you up. We
Yeah.
love music. We love music, like this. It's a lovely day today. So whatever you got to do, you got a lovely day to do it, and that's true. So I just like to wake up and sing a little song.
I want to thank you for that because I was going to mention that I know you're also a singer and you have a
Yeah.
whole video on kicking cancer's ass.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Yes,
why don't
yes.
you tell us? Why don't you tell us about this? Because I think you can bring a lot of good information to people about when you know you suspect that you may have cancer.
Oh,
What's
yes.
what's the how do you approach this whole?
Well, well, it's a twofold situation because number one, we were in the pandemic, and I think many people were like myself. I started getting. I've always been a very healthy person, and
Mhm.
I eat right. I don't smoke. I don't drink. You know, my main vice is maybe shopping once in a while. you know,
Are you
you know.
doing a lot of that online?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I couldn't live without it. Yes, that's how I get everything now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of online, but I'm not crazy. I'm not like going wild. Like I don't order like you know, a, let's say a whole deck for my backyard. I don't do that online. Just little things that you might
Okay.
need.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point during the pandemic, so your discovery of having cancer came during the pandemic, right?
Exactly. It was well, I started feeling I started getting a little pain on my left side. And I had just spoken to my brother not too long before that. He goes, well, that could be a kidney stone or something like that. So I went to see my general practitioner, and I want to say that was in March, okay, last March. And she said, yes, you definitely have a kidney stone. Uh, and we're going to take more. So they gave me, I guess you would call a CAT scan. And that's when they saw. And then she said, I need you to go see our oncologist, hematologist. Well, I know what that means,
Right.
but I still did not, you don't know for sure until you go in there. So I went in, and of course I've that he told me you have it. And, I had a good cry, and
Uh,
then I stopped crying, and I said, you know what? I was with my boyfriend. Thank God, he's been a fantastic caregiver.
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. If you have friends or family or people who are helping you through this.
I have no family here, but yeah, he's been taking really great care of me. He takes me to all my doctor's appointments, my whatever I needed to do, because right away the doctor set up a plan. I had two doctors, my hematologist, oncologist, and I also have a surgeon. My Because I needed surgery. No, stop that. We're gonna turn off the phone, my dear.
Please. Okay.
People don't realize what I'm doing.
That's right.
So
But they will once they see this. Okay, go ahead.
I turned it off.
Okay, thank you.
So yes, I forgot where I.
That's okay. You were talking about how good your boyfriend was in taking care of it.
Oh,
What was the first thing
I couldn't have done it without him. I mean, he took me. I had to go do so many things. First of all, they set me up with chemotherapy, so I did sessions of that.
right?
And then I had surgery last June 29th. And then after that, about a month after that, I had more chemotherapy, and I'm finished with that. But now I'm on, I will go see my doctor, in fact, this Thursday, 2 days from now, because he's going to let me know if there's a maintenance drug that I could take. But if not, they just keep an eye on me, because you can see seem healthy. I'm not like.
Yeah, I was going to say you look beautiful and healthy and like you're doing well.
Yeah, yes, I am doing well. And the first thing I say to people, and whether you have any kind of disease or whatever challenges you have to be positive. You have to start your day with, every day I start my day with, I am healthy, I am loved, and I am blessed. You have to do that because you want to start your day that way, with energy, with positivity, and it really helps. It really makes a difference.
That's a nice thing to hear. Do you ever have a time when you're just exhausted and it's difficult for you to do that?
Oh, of course. Well, when I was going through chemo, that and of course I lost like 17 pounds. So people say, wow, you lost weight. I go, yeah, it's called the chemo diet, because chemotherapy takes your appetite away. But I have excellent doctors, and they always were watching over me. So they adjusted the dose. And, it is challenging, but you can get through it, and so, like I said, he set up the whole program. They did. And I, because without it, people can make the choice not to do the treatment, but then, what will happen. You'll die. Yeah. So I didn't want that to happen. So, yeah, I'm being treated. I have good doctors, and you have to trust your doctors.
How did you find your doctors?
Well, I was already with UCLA. Now, UCLA is one of the top 3 in the country. So, I knew I would be in good hands.
Okay, so you could just follow the instructions.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
so what will this have to do? I don't know when you get to start entertaining again because of the pandemic, and when you get to go anyplace.
I don't want to go on a plane. I don't want to deal with these people now who are beating up the flight attendants. What's that about? People are crazy. I do not want to do that. I am very happy to do things on Zoom. And I'm going to be giving, here in Los Angeles, I'm going to be giving an award for a children's event. So I'll go to that. But I don't want to be around these crazy people that are.
I don't blame you.
I don't, you never know when somebody's going to act out, right?
That's right. So, and also the misbehavior, the violent behavior on airplanes toward flight attendants is just shocking.
Well, it's wrong.
Okay. Yes, and you'd think that some kind of good manners would prevent you from socking a flight attendant.
Again, think of what it costs for them for the airline to turn the plane around, take it back, and take these people off the plane, because they have to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. It's not right, and people have to learn to behave.
Yes.
They have to behave. When you're on a plane with fellow people, you have to especially respect the flight attendants. They are there for your safety.
And also they're in charge when it comes to that cabin. They're the boss, no?
Yes, but here's the problem. These people order drinks, and they shouldn't. These are people that should not have drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And then and sometimes they don't even have drinks. They're just nasty people.
Right.
So I don't want to be in an environment like that. So.
Okay, so let's talk about that aspect of staying healthy and keeping yourself in an environment. It's any milieu that makes you feel happy and comfortable and safe.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you got to surround yourself with people who care about you. That's number one. Sometimes it's not your family, people that are related to you. It's people who are right near you to help you. Like I told you, my boyfriend, I have a couple of really great girlfriends, and
good.
We meet up. They come and get me, and we go have lunch.
Right.
In fact, just before you called me, that one who was calling me, she always checks up on me. So she didn't realize I was having a Zoom meeting. So
okay.
Anyway, but I'll call her back.
Now.
But yes, it's very important to.
And did you indicate that you're from Chicago?
Yes, I am from Chicago.
So are your siblings still there?
Yes, I have some siblings there, and some are in Florida. Yeah, but I'm the only one here. But but I always felt the closest to my parents. I loved my parents are the greatest.
Oh.
And they are now in heaven. But they were the best. I just love them.
I'm going to cry. That's a wonderful thing to hear.
Yeah, whenever I would hear some friends who would say things about, I never talked to my mother. Well, that would break my heart. Now, I'm sure they have maybe reasons. Maybe there's been episodes. I don't know. But listen, my parents were tough. I think it's very important to have guidelines for children. And, that's what's happening now. These poor kids, if you look at a kid now, here's what a kid is doing, right? So you're talking to me and here's the kid. Yeah, and they don't talk. They're just,
Oh, that's so irritating to talk to somebody and having them look at their cell phone while they're talking to you.
but it's not just that. They have no social skills. Like here we are communicating. I don't think children can do that now.
Yeah.
They're on their little iPad or their device. It's very important to communicate face to face. And that's why in our family, we would all sit around the dinner table and talk.
There you go. And I don't know. And I don't, yeah, I think a lot of that has gone today. I don't think people do have the dinner hour as kind of a sacrosanct time like we used to. Yes. You indicated that your parents, you didn't say strict, but you just said something. And what were they insistent about in raising you and your siblings?
Oh, well, it was, that first of all, I thank you so much to them for, I showed an aptitude for the accordion. So I took those lessons and they tried to get me. I think it's very important for children to do things like that. Music, dancing, anything because they have to find out what they like to do. And not only that, music is so good for your soul. And
yes, of course.
Yeah, I love music, all kinds. Well, except can I just please don't get mad? Rap, I can't.
Really? Okay, because it turns out I just love it. I listen to the words, but not everything is for everybody. So
it just depends. I like some of it, but I like musical things that you can remember. Okay, so Rodgers and Hammerstein, and like kind of thing. Not to mention great voices. My dad used to go around. We would watch Mario Lanza on the
really.
So a great appreciation for great singers, Nat King Cole, all of those.
Sure. So let me ask you something. You're 9 children, and it sounds to me like your parents had enough time and heart to give everybody good attention.
Not just that, but I was one of the older ones in the top 3. I was the third, and I helped raise my younger siblings. So that's why after that I wasn't real interested in having a child.
That's not so uncommon, by the way. What you're feeling. I want to ask you, what kind of things were they insistent upon in terms of good manners or just being out in the world?
Well, number one, education, right? Number one, they were very, you've got to do your homework, and then you can do some music. I was in the choir also at our church. I think all that is really important and it's helpful. And when you start something, finish it. See, sometimes I would do something and then I'd say, oh, I don't feel like doing it. And my mom would say, you are going to finish that. You have to do that. That's part of life experience. You have to see something through your plan. Otherwise, in life, you don't want to be giving up.
So as a child or a young person, when she said that, how did you feel about her saying that to you?
Well, when I'm a kid and I'm 8 years old and I don't feel like practicing my accordion,
right? She
said, no, you're going in the room and you're doing that. And I realized afterward that was very good for me.
Yes.
Because it kept you to a schedule. So it makes you responsible, not to mention you have a new friend. Music is a friend. It's the greatest.
Really?
It's wonderful, just like comedy. But with music, it really soothes your spirit, I think.
Yes. May I ask how long your parents have been gone?
Well, my father unfortunately died back in 1992 or 3 from cancer, but he had colon cancer. And I know he would have been alive today if he had better care like I did. I have excellent doctors. Yes. We were in Chicago at the time, and hey, not that they don't have great. Listen, they have Loyola, Northwestern. They're all great, But my father went to our practitioner. You have to have a specialist for this,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But at that time, they didn't know as well.
Right.
And then my mother died in 2013.
Oh, recently.
Yeah, she died. She lived to be 88.
Okay.
So that was wonderful.
So you were well into your adulthood. You had them all your growing up life and most
Yeah,
of
I was lucky because I remember I had a girlfriend who her mother died when she was young. And I remember one time she came over to play with me and my mom was saying, "Judy, you have to do this." And I go, "Oh." And so I say to my girlfriend, "Oh, my mom makes me so mad." She,
Oh,
and no, but that was just a moment.
sure.
And my girlfriend said, "Judy, you have to be grateful. You have your mother."
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna cry. Yeah, and I understood. I realized, oh my God, I'm so lucky.
Well, let me ask you something. I am so largely about love letters.
Yes,
Do you still talk to your parents? You talk to your mother? Do you talk to your dad?
of course. Often it's advice. I say, "Mom, I don't know," because she would be great. I think my mom was a genius. She could talk about multitasking. She took care of the kids. She could do taxes. My dad was great too. I remember when I started going on the road and I lived downstairs. They had, and a kind of like an eight
Unit?
unit building. And I was in the downstairs and I would go on the road. My dad would take me to the airport. I'd come back or one of my brothers maybe. Anyway, and I remember one time I had a small little place, and I said, "Gee, I really would I wish I had a closet." I didn't have a closet per se.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, it was like around Christmas time. I go into my room and there's a big red bow, and this closet.
Wow.
And oh my God, my father made that for me.
Oh,
So they were just fantastic.
oh yeah. I have a thought because, what I always ask is if you were to write a love letter right now, who would you be writing it to? I want to write one to your mother and your father.
Oh,
And I don't want to, I shouldn't do that because, what letters you want to write would be up to you.
no,
But
you're absolutely right. Oh, but I'm going to start crying.
okay, me too. Me too.
Because
Would you consider, or what do you think about writing a love letter individually to each of your parents?
oh
And
yeah.
all that you just said right now, I want to thank you for, and just start talking about the specifics of
Yeah.
the things that they did for you separately.
Yeah. Well, okay. My parents were strict, and I first I want to thank you both for giving me mom and dad, Joanne and Caesar were their names. I'm the daughter of Caesar.
Yeah.
So of course I had to be a goddess, but I was always encouraged I want to thank you so much for encouraging me with music and with and here's the other thing that I love them for. Other girls that I grew up with my age, their parents would always be bothering them about, "You've got to, right out of high school, you've got to get married. You've got to find someone." My parents never did that.
Okay, so you have lists of things to thank them for. And
Yes.
I'm thinking 2 separate letters and maybe more than one. I mean, this is your history.
Yes.
And it's, in my opinion, let me say,
Yeah. Well,
it's so worth writing these letters. And you've got a history worth knowing about. And the question is, your parents are gone. Where would you mail these?
well, this is from my heart, and they're in heaven. So
Right.
I'm just sending it from my heart to their spirits. Oftentimes, I thought I would. Sometimes I feel I don't know if they hear me. I don't feel, but I always thank them. I always say thank you, Dad. For my dad would always pick me up from school functions. you take it for granted when you're
That's
a kid.
right. And so later, now at our age, and we can look back.
Oh yeah. No, but
we took it as normal.
As I became a young adult, I appreciated them more and more. And I thank them for, my music lessons, on my own, I took singing lessons and for really making me study. Education is so important. That's the most important.
Yes. Well, you know what I think? I think with all the things that you do now to keep yourself and your spirit lifted, you sing, you wake up in the morning and you have the things that you say and do. There is something about writing a love letter to people we loved who are gone and categorizing all the things that you're grateful for. It may take more than one letter to each, who knows? And you will see that does even more elevating.
Yes.
You're actually writing out in your own handwriting. And I'm just wondering, I always think that a love letter should be mailed to someone. And I don't know what your relationship is with your siblings, but sometimes it's really nice to say, dear mom, I'm writing this to you, but I'm going to send it to name a sibling. So
they'll get jealous. They'll get jealous because
okay.
Because
what about mailing it to yourself?
Okay, that's good.
Then you mail it to yourself and you open it up and you read it in your own handwriting. And I will tell you, my experience has been that the you who wrote it and the you who reads it are two separate people.
Yeah. Well, I do believe that. I'll tell you what, speaking of letters, for my birthday, which was in November, I have an older brother and he is kind of a tough guy, He was not always nice to me.
Oh.
But he wrote me the sweetest thing for my birthday. He said, Judy, you're such a sweet sister, and thank you for loving me even when I wasn't nice.
Oh my, isn't that something? The power of a letter.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that really made I told him, oh my God, that made my birthday. I was very moved by that. As you get to see, I can't even talk about it.
Well,
but, it's because I thought he didn't care, but then.
There you go. So the power of letters to correct things.
Yes.
Set things straight and to heal. I mean, you're living a whole life right now of healing.
Oh God, yes, very much.
And this is still part of it.
Oh yeah, and I'm so grateful for everyone who tries to keep my spirits up. Before I spoke to you, a friend of mine just called me, and she goes, Judy, what are you doing? I go, well, I'm getting ready to do a Zoom. She goes, yes, but you're also kicking cancer's ass.
Okay, that's a wonderful note to end on.
Yes.
That you are kicking cancer's ass. And you're doing it in so many ways. You're doing it spiritually and you're doing it physically and you're doing it emotionally. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I want to thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm so happy to have met you here.
Happy to have met you too. Now I have to go write my love letters.
Yes, you do. I love giving homework assignments. And maybe just you and I can talk some other time. And if you feel like telling me what it was like writing these letters.
Oh, sure. Or I could even read them. Oh,
really? Okay. Let's have another Love Letters Live then, where you can read the letters you wrote to your parents.
Okay.
Wonderful. So I'm just gonna say goodbye for right now, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I'm just so glad we met. Okay. So now you're part of my life. Yeah.
And thank you.
Definitely. Okay. Bye.